Well, good afternoon, and thank you to everyone for joining us here at the Royal Society of Arts and everyone that's joining us live on Sky Sports digital platforms. We're going to do 3 different sections to today's press gathering, I think we can call it, Ben, rather than a press conference, but it's very informal and a chance for everybody to talk to the fighters in the room, and everyone will get their time afterwards. This is our first station, if we call it that. CEO and founder of Boxer Ben Shalom joins me now, but on his right, former world champion George Groves, and I think I can now call you professional trainer. Yep.
I got my license.
There you go. I wasn't questioning it. George Groves and his young protege, just making his second professional start, but high hopes already for Lucas Rohrig. Lucas, thanks you for joining us. We'll come to you shortly. Ben, going to be doing a fair bit with you this week because it's straight up to Sheffield for Callum Simpson fight week, but all eyes on February 1st, OVO Arena, Wembley. We'll talk about the 2 top of the bill fights later on, but plenty of talent on the undercard as well, starting with young Lucas, who George probably got hold of you and twisted your arm and said, look, give him a chance. There's a lot to talk about with Lucas, but I just want to go through the undercard with you and some of the hopes and expectations that you got for February 1st.
Yeah, first of all, it's great to be back. I've definitely missed it. Massive week, as you said, Saturday in Sheffield, but February the 1st is just an unbelievable card for London. Adam Azim taking on a huge test, IBO world title at 22 years old against a formidable opponent in Sergey Lipinets for the IBO world title. Viddal Riley against Isaac Chamberlain is just a fight that I've wanted to make for so long, and Viddal obviously got injured last year after a very impressive performance against Mikel Lawal, but it's a grudge match, it's a fiery match, it's a pressure fight. You know, Viddal Riley's got a lot of expectation, a massive profile, and he's going into a huge test against Isaac Chamberlain, who's come up short just almost every single time he's got to that top level. Lawrence Okoli just, Chris Billam-Smith only by the thinnest of margins, and then obviously Jack Massey. So he'll be absolutely desperate to win with Adam Booth. So a huge fight for London. Jamie TKV returns against Michael Webster in a big test for him. He wants to get himself into the domestic heavyweight scene. Much more on the undercard, but obviously Lucas Rohrig up here. George Groves has not left anyone alone in Sky Sports, in Boxer. But when someone like George Groves comes to you and he says, you know, he doesn't put his weight behind too many people. When he says he's got a real talent, you sit up, you listen, you speak to the people in the gyms. I spoke to Josh Bawatsi, who's been in the gym with Lucas. I spoke to Jai Opatayo, who's been in there. He's a phenomenal talent, and the cruiserweight division in this country is on fire. So great to have him as well, and excited to see where his career goes.
George, I'll come to you shortly, but let's talk to Lucas himself. Lovely to meet you again. We had you down on the Sky Sports Toe to Toe podcast and on Sky Sports News before your pro debut. If people didn't catch any of that, just tell us a little bit about yourself and how you came to link up with George Groves. There's that obvious link there with Dale Youth and how you first met George, but how's life as a professional?
Yeah, it's treating me well in the gym every day with George, and continue learning and getting better. And yeah, just excited for February 1st now. Thank you to Boxer and Sky for having me on. And it's just a great platform to showcase my skills. And yeah, continue building.
1-0, was it everything that you hoped that it would be, your professional debut? You only get one at the end of the day.
Yeah, definitely soaked it up. It was a great showcase against a 2-time English champion. And for me to show my skills, it was a great debut. And I've just been looking forward to the next one. You know, I'm addicted to that feeling now of ring walking as a professional, fighting with your shirt off, you know, the impact with the 10-ounce gloves, and yeah, excited.
Ben touched on it there. I mean, and it is a great sort of hook for all of us headline writers, you know, sharing the ring with Jai Opatayo. He got hold of, I think it was Mick Francis got hold of George and said, do you know anyone? And he said, well, I know someone that could do a couple of rounds with you. And I think he did more than a couple of rounds with Jai Opatayo, and then he came out and did some work with him in Saudi Arabia when he was over there as well. He's just absolutely produced one of the knockouts of the year already in January against David Nyika. What was that like as an experience for you to share the ring with? I think what we can all widely agree now, he probably is the standout #1 cruiserweight in the world. So how did you do against him, and what did you take from the whole experience?
Definitely was priceless to be able to rub shoulders with the #1 in my division, train and spar with him, and for him to give me advice and say I can go all the way is something that meant the world to me. And I literally just 20 minutes ago saw him put on a phenomenal performance, knocking out Nikita in the 4th round, absolute demolition job. And yeah, for my stage of my career at 21 years old, to be sparring and side by side by such a great fighter, it gives me a lot of confidence for my future.
Yeah, well, it's great to have you on this show. And one of the reasons is George Groves' persistence. And George, I don't wonder if you can give us a little bit meat on the bones with Lucas. I think Ben's probably right. Like, you know, you've got your own life and your own young family, and you've only sort of recently walked away from the sport. So for you to step back in a full-time trainer's role where you're going to have to give up a lot of your free time, you probably wouldn't work with just anyone. So why Lucas? What have you seen in Lucas? And yeah, why him out of everybody?
He's Lucas Rohrig is a special talent. He's a very special talent. You know, I've seen him down at the Dale Youth. I popped down on a Sunday morning and I've watched the guys come down. It's a great gym. It's my old amateur gym. It's produced so many champions. People have been through it. You know, the Dubois have been through it. Adam Azim has been through it. And he was that next standout talent. And when he was talking about him turning professional, I'd always said to the guys, if anyone wants a contact, wants a step in the right direction, a little bit of advice, no problem, anything goes. But with Lucas, I decided, you know, this is someone maybe I can't let go, you know. And a shout out for Danny Rowe, who's another coach at the Dale, who sort of knocked both our heads together when we were both humming and ahhing about different options. And he's like, George, you ain't going to just manage him. You're going to want to train him. You ain't going to pass him over to anyone else. So just commit to that. This is the right time to do it. And he was spot on, because if there was ever a time, which always comes for any ex-fighter, where they decide to become a trainer, I'm just thankful that I'm getting to do it with Lucas Rohrig, who is a superstar in the making. He has all the attributes that you would want. I mean, he's not just a great athlete, he's got a great attitude. He's willing to invest in himself. There's so many things that I thought was the way to be when I was his age that I see in him. You know, he's fearless, he's driven, he leaves no stone unturned. Like, he'll run for a brick wall if you ask him to, but he's also intelligent enough to ask, is that a good idea first, you know? So I love that about him. He's a pleasure to work with, a pleasure to teach. You want fighters who are teachable, and who can and will make those, you know, adjustments and those improvements. When I think about myself when I was his age, I'd been fortunate enough to have a 10-year amateur career where I'd sort of boxed all over the world and mixed it with some great fighters. He's got to a couple of finals, and he's been on a few internationals, but to be at this stage, and he's already sparred and held his own with world champions in the division, Jai Pataya, Chris Billham-Smith. He's been at the McGuigan's gym sparring with Craig Richards. We've been up to Birmingham, sparred Ben Whittaker. He's been in with Buatsi, you know, and they all speak highly of him. His debut, you know, we tried to make a statement. You know, we got Joel McIntyre, who, you know, is a solid fighter who comes, he's game, he wants to win, he punches hard, he's unorthodox, he's not the typical debut opponent. In the change room after he came into the change room, he said, I either thought you guys were crazy or this guy's really good. And it turns out he's really good. And he said, I thought the match with a debut, I think he was a bit insulted, and I can see why. He thought he was coming to get a knockout win. He thought he was getting paid, and it was a dream. It was a delight coming before Christmas. But, you know, Lucas stuck to the task at hand. Perfect professional debut. So if you haven't seen that, get on YouTube and check it out. He does everything else, almost a punch-perfect performance, and Joel McIntyre can't come out for the 4th round. And it's going to be more and more of the same. So we are very thankful, and I have sort of pitched him to everyone, certainly on the boxer roster. You've got to let me know what the hierarchy is, Ben. I don't want to bother people if I'm, you know, who do we need to get to get it on? But we are fortunate to be part of this card. It's a great card. It's an exciting card. It's great to be boxing in London. Great to be part of an Adam Azim headlined card. And with that link again back to Dale Youth, which we love, we're still down there every week. That's where we base ourselves. So thank you very much.
I'm going to thank you both now, but before you go, will you just give me a very short one on Adam Azim? You have got the link there, mutual link with Shane McGuigan, who I know you had at the back end of your career. You know he's in good hands, Adam Azim, with Shane. How impressed have you been with Adam Azim? And I'll just ask you to reflect back on your own career. There always comes that time where you've got to make that leap from domestic quality fighting into fringe world level, and that's where Adam Azim's going now. Do you believe he's ready for that?
Yeah, he's a great talent. He's a great talent, and he loves his boxing. And from what I've seen of him in the gym, he's dedicated to his boxing. He's dedicated to making the improvements. He hasn't let his success go to his head. He knows that to be a complete fighter, you've got to keep working at it. And I don't doubt that he will be, a superstar of his division in a not too distant future. You don't need to rush him because he's so young, but he has just stepped up time and time again. And McGuigan's doing a great job with him. They've matched him, with the right tests at the right time, and he's always came through. So I'm really excited to see him out in action again, and see him another step on the run of the ladder to the top.
Well, thank you very much for coming today, and best of luck on February 1st. Lucas, great to work with you again. So that will bring us on to the next portion of our press conference. We're going to bring Adam and Shane up on stage now, but if you cast your eyes to the screen, we'll see exactly what all the fuss is all about.
This kid is fast. I think he's going to win world titles and do huge things for British boxing. Adam Azim is going to be a superstar.
In a couple of years' time, he could be one of the youngest world champions.
That was a great shot. He's going to go a very, very long way in the sport.
I want to become the youngest world champion, that's my aim.
Adam Azim! Remember the name!
You're going to remember the name.
Well, he really does need very little introduction, but one of the hottest prospects in all of world boxing, I think we can all agree. Adam Azim joins Ben Shalom still on stage, and Shane McGuigan, head trainer as well. Thank you to both of you. Adam, what an opportunity this is for you to kickstart 2025. It is a step up, in reality and on paper, against Sergey Lipinets, a man who held the world title back in 2017. He's been where you want to get to. So what's your reaction to this fight, and how excited are you to get cracking in February?
First of all, happy 2025 to everyone and everyone in this room. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to this fight. It's going to be a huge, huge breakthrough for me. Not just domestically, but it's going to be a huge global, where I pronounce myself into the the world stage now. He's a great fighter. He's a good fighter. But all due respect to him, I'm going to end his career on the day.
I mean, if that's the case, that would be back-to-back retirement plans, because you put your good friend, former stablemate O'Hara Davies, into retirement after that win back in October. Would you agree that was the most comprehensive and well-rounded performance of your career? How do you look back at that?
Against O'Hara Davies?
Mm-hmm.
It was I thought I'd done really well. Although I did fight back in February that time, but everything happens for a reason, and now I'm back fighting against Sergey, and then obviously my performance against O'Hara was kind of elevated me back into the world stage as well, because O'Hara was no joke, and I put on a great performance. And although I'm gonna put on probably a sizzling performance against Sergey.
This is a step up into fringe world class. Do you believe that it is a matter of time? And I don't think anyone's dismissing Lipinets. This does look like a risky assignment on paper, but if you're going to get to where you want to get to and where you think you're going to get to, you've got to get past the likes of Lipinets. Is 2025 and a world title shot a realistic goal, or are we all getting ahead of ourselves here?
2025 is definitely when I bring myself through to the world stage. And when you look at it, Sergey Lipinets, he's a good fighter, he's an elite fighter. But has he fought like anyone like me? He hasn't, because the only time he only loses is probably at the elite level against Boots. He's lost against Mikey Garcia. I'm going to prove myself that I'm an elite fighter. And look, I've been in the game for quite a long time now. I started at the age of 4, 8 years of utter dedication, and I'm ready for anyone.
Ben, shall I bring you in? High hopes and expectations for Adam Azim. I think it was a bit of a group effort, wasn't it, in terms of boxer, your input, Shane McGuigan and Team McGuigan's input on O'Hara Davies, because it did represent a risk, didn't it? But now are you glad that actually that was the right fight at the right time, and look where it's sort of propelled Adam Azim to, and the sort of headlines that he was writing after that?
Yeah, I do. Look, I think it was a noise that comes with fighting O'Hara Davies. It's the pressure.
Yeah, have you recovered?
Listen, I was much more nervous than Adam, because it's the noise, it's the expectation. We know Adam Azim is world level. We know he's elite. We've seen that from 18, 19 years old, and watching him develop has been an absolute joy. But when you fight someone like O'Hara Davies, who in many people's eyes still had a lot left, and the noise that comes with it, and it's all over the boxing media and the social media, and Adam's headlining on Sky Sports at 22 years old against one of the most notorious fighters in this country, a fighter that stuck it on him and throughout the campaign, and the way he dealt with it was phenomenal. He didn't just beat him, he systematically broke him down, and I thought it was his best performance to date, and the maturity and the way he's stepping up the levels just gets more and more exciting. I think every time he steps in the ring he's getting better, and February the 1st, it's another step up, and it's a phenomenal fighter in Sergey Lipinets. It really is, and it's time for Adam to show he is world level. He is at that level now, and what a journey so far. And this year is going to be Adam's year.
You feel like you can't hold him back, and there's no point holding him back anymore? It's one for Shane as well after you, but if he's good enough, he's good enough. We might as well find out by stepping up each time. Absolutely,
and he's restless, and all the great fighters are restless. They want to get back in the ring quicker. They want to be on the best fights quicker, and there's only so long you can hold someone back. As soon as he came out the ring against O'Hara Davies, it's when's my next day? I want to go higher. Sergey Lipinets, absolutely. IBO world title, absolutely. He's still 22 years old, but he wants to reach the top. And it's our job to make sure we provide those opportunities, and so far he's dealing with every single one. But yeah, no holding back this year.
Shane McGuigan, in terms of percentage of potential that we've seen from Adam Azim, where would you put that figure at the moment? Is there more to come?
From what I'm seeing in the gym, it's phenomenal. It's frightening. He's really turned the corner. For a guy that was already there, he's turned another corner. I swear on my life, he's looking sensational. I've never seen a fighter like that up close. He has the reactions, he's got the ability to close in, throw combinations. He finds these mad shots, and you're thinking, where's that come from? It's something like Naz, but then he's got the boxing fundamentals as well to go with it. And I think that's something that we have to just consider, is he's still only 22 years of age. He's nowhere near his ceiling. And he's only going to look better when he goes up against better opposition. And I think, being against someone he's boxed a guy, a puncher that was awkward on the back foot in O'Hara Davies' way to go and close the gap. Now he's going to have a guy walking in on him. But where he's improved the most is that mid to short range. So I think it's frightening what we're going to see in the next 12 months.
You and Jake and Ben probably would have butted heads over potential opponents and risk against reward. So why Lipinets? Why have you guys settled on Lipinets as well?
Well, we asked, and Ben and Box have delivered, so we're thankful for that. I think it's a perfect fight. He's 35 years of age, but he's still fresh enough. His losses are, as Adam said, against Boots and Mikey Garcia and Michael Riviera. So he's boxed against some of the best fighters out there. He's always, shown a great account of himself. He can punch, he comes forward, and it's a statement. It's a guy that you're not going to have to go chasing for. He's going to come to win. He thinks that his level is where he was at with Boots. So he's looking at this guy like 22, I'm going to walk through him. And that's what we want. We want someone that's well up for it, because that means that you're going to see him have to raise his game. And once he has to raise his game, there's many, many levels up there.
Well, let's stay on Lipinets and let's cast our eyes back towards the screen. Adam, I'm going to come to you. Let's have a look at what Lipinets is all about, particularly against your old gym mate and stablemate, Robbie Davies Jr. So that's what he's all about. I mean, is there a degree you want a little bit of revenge there for Robbie Davies Jr.?
Yeah, he's a former stablemate of mine, a very good friend of mine. So if I do get that knockout victory, it is for him. So, yeah. I've got you, Robbie Mai.
He's locked in training camp, Sergey, at the moment, but he has sent some quotes across on the announcement of the fight. He said, "I'm glad that Adam has accepted this fight. A lot of top fighters have refused to face me. Never turned down a fight, and this one is make or break for me. Adam is young and strong, but he doesn't have my experience. I've seen it all. May the best man win." What's your response to that?
He said what he had to say, but the thing, like most of these fighters I've faced, they all said he hasn't got my experience, and I've got the best trainer in the game. I'm an elite fighter, and I've got the elite team. I've got the best trainer. I've got the best people around me. What more do I need?
On that experience, though, I mean, you only get experience by jumping in with people like Sergey Lipinets. Is that in the back of your mind at all? Experience, that is the one thing he does have over you.
Yeah, he's got experience. I'm fully focused. I just want to get into the ring right now and fight. I love this press conference. I love doing all this media stuff. But when I get into that ring, it's deadly mode. There
is quite a funny link as well. So he doesn't share a trainer, but he does share a gym, I think, with Hamza Shiraz. Is that right?
Yeah, he does, yeah.
Are you Hamza, because you're very close, obviously families are very close as well. Are you exchanging messages, or is that...
Nah, do you know what? We just keep it respectful. He's doing his thing, I'm doing my thing. You can train with him, I don't mind that. But when he's not the one who's going to go in and fight for him, isn't it? So he's going to fight me.
Before you go, may I get a prediction from you? So if everything's true, and I've got no reason to not believe Shane McGuigan, I've got no reason not to believe you, but if you do everything that you're saying in the gym, and you can do it under the fight night lights, how does this fight go?
1 to 5 rounds, knockout.
You think you can stop him?
100%.
Okay, well, I look forward to putting that to Sergey Lipinets. I'll give you the final word, Ben, on this fight. It'll either be a great bit of matchmaking or it'll be one step too far. You can tell me why it's the first option.
Look, Lipinets took this within 5 seconds of the offer, so that tells you where his head's at. It's a great test for Adam. It's an opportunity to make a massive statement. Tickets are going extremely well. It's a return to London for Adam Azim, February the 1st. Final tickets available at boxer.com. But this is about seeing a future superstar of the sport. Anyone that's looking at who the big names are coming through, anyone that's looking at who the next pay-per-view star, look no further than Adam Azim, and he's going to show you the reason why on February the 1st.
Brilliant. Well, Adam, best of luck for the rest of your training camp. Shane, thank you for joining us up here as well. Ben's going to stay with me, because coming up next is a fight that's got the whole of British boxing divided and talking about. So let's see exactly how we got to this point.
What do you say to a fight with Isaac Chamberlain, London, February the 1st?
Sounds about time to me.
We can run it whenever, what? We can run it whenever. Don't do that. Because you've been calling me out since October. Since October, you've been calling me out. Now it's any time. So now it's any time. Now I'm here, what, bro?
But I can't lie, it is a fight like next. I do want that fight next.
Hold on, let's calm down. Let's all calm down. Calm down. Okay. Calm down.
Me and Isaac can talk and we can fight. Sounds like a great business.
Okay, well, I'd like to say for the moment we have all calmed down. Viddal Riley, English Cruiserweight Champion, and Isaac Chamberlain join us up on stage. Now, we've already seen what potentially could happen, Ben Shalom, with these two in an enclosed environment. There's no real love lost there, but there is also a huge amount of respect between the two. Both have called for it on separate occasions, so presumably you were more than happy to deliver it.
Yeah, look, two guys we know very well. Two guys we have a lot of respect for. Two guys that bring entertainment every single time and understand what the sport is about. So, delighted to finally make the fight. It's a fight that possibly should have happened last year. It's a fight that we've been wanting to make for a long time. It's a fight that both fighters want. Both at different stages of the career, both needing this fight for different reasons, but both under so much pressure to win. It's an unbelievable fight for London. It's an unbelievable fight for the cruiserweight division. Honestly, I can't wait for this fight, and yeah, I know how focused both guys are.
Yeah, may the best man win. Let's start with the champion, Viddal Riley. Good to see you, Viddal. You were very vocal that you wanted Isaac Chamberlain. Why?
Because I feel like, yeah, it's just supposed to happen. You know, when he fought Mikel Lawal for the British and Commonwealth titles before the fight began, I said I wanted the winner, because as much as I, enjoy being English champion, I don't want to be English champion forever. So I'm trying to look at what's up and how I can progress. Am I capable of beating those individuals? And yeah, when I saw that fight, I thought I can. Before I saw the fight. So that's where it came from. It come from a respectful place. And even the way I approached him after was respectful as well. Because I do respect Isaac. So yeah, I just want to level up. He was in the way. And then now, the way events have turned, I'm the champion. He's not. He's had a loss. I haven't. And I feel like the fight's happening for hype. But I don't know. Isaac's not bringing no hype this time. I know the people want to see what they just saw on the screen. But he seems very calm and he's not trying to do that.
Well, let's ask him. After that sort of back and forth, you made your way to ringside after you beat Lawal and then he fought Lawal. And you made your case as to why you want to fight him. So why Viddal Riley and why now? And he said, where's the hype gone?
I feel like it's the right moment. I just want to say thank you to Mick and Ben Shalom for making this fight. Right now I'm just focused on February the 1st. The hype is done. We've done all the shouting and all of that, the circus act, but we've done all of that. So now it's just time to lock in and focus on getting this win.
If I go back to you, Viddal, one thing I'd say about Isaac, you're a very talented fighter. I think we've all seen in victory and in defeat what he brings to the table. But he is, I hope you don't mind me saying this, he is a great showman as well, a great talker. We haven't heard too much sort of yesterday and today so far. Why do you think that is? Because there's part of me that would say...
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Obviously, Isaac got the answers for that. But I just think as much as we've done our talking before, that's before the fight was confirmed. Now the fight is confirmed and all these cameras are here, it is still time for talking technically. Do you know what I mean? February the 1st is when it becomes about the fight. So, yeah, me and Isaac have been good at going back and forth. We've seen it with Lawal, we've seen it with Massey, we've seen it with Okoli. And, yeah. What's different? I'm actually asking you now, for real, like, what is different?
What's different, yeah. Maybe I've kind of grown out of it. I'm maturing more as a fighter, I'm getting more experienced. I'm taking this a bit more serious. Before I'm just here for the vibes, but now I'm taking it a bit more serious. So, that's what's been happening right now.
Is that true, or is this a brilliant Isaac Chamberlain mind game?
No, it's no mind games. I don't really do the mind games thing, man. I'm just how I am. Do you get it? I'm just how I am. I'm just comfortable in what I'm doing. And, yeah, all I'm focused on right now is the fight. All the bravado, it's cute, but it's just bravado, that's all it is.
Without being an instigator, though, you've talked probably when you really believe that you can win a fight.
100.
I probably think that what Viddal's saying is you're not talking now. Is that a sign that you're perhaps not as confident coming into this one?
Absolutely not. Absolutely.
Is that what you're saying?
I mean, I'm just going by what I'm seeing. Every time that he has a big fight, he always promotes it well, he always talks a lot, and then now it's come to me. He was talking a lot before the fight was agreed, and now it's actually agreed. We can't get no words out of him. So I'm just like, whoa. Do you know, if you're trying to lessen the pressure? Obviously, there's a lot of pressure on me. There's a lot of pressure on Isaac, but it's a different pressure. His pressure is more towards the end. Mine's about growing to what the show's called, another level. So I feel like, yeah, maybe he's just easing the pressure off his shoulders.
Or is it a case that you are more mature now, that perhaps boxing's doing the talking and you don't have to?
It's exactly what I said earlier. I'm over it now. I've done this a long time. So now it's time to really, dial in on February the 1st.
I danced around it yesterday on Sky Sports News, but perhaps I can be, if you permit me, be a bit more direct. Is your career at the top level, at any level, at risk on February 1st? If you don't get past Viddal Riley, is realistically it over for you at the top level?
No, I believe every fight is a risk. Regardless, every fight is a risk. So I'm taking it the same way I did before, working hard and just getting ready for February the 1st, which I will be.
Do you see yourself as a favourite or an underdog?
All of that is kind of outside noise. I don't know the bookies. I ain't really looked at all of that stuff. But it's all outside noise. It's just, I'm focused. I'm really, really dialed in. So I'm not really looking at all of that.
Is it insulting, though, that someone of his level, although he's English champion and you don't bring a belt to the table at the moment, You are much more experienced. You've been at a much higher level. And I'm not saying that you can't get there, Viddal, but you have boxed at a much higher level. For someone like him to think that they can beat you, does that insult you at all?
Nah, it don't. Everyone has their right to think the way they want to think. It's not for me to get mad at. Yeah.
Well, to be fair, you were on that side of the table once before.
Yeah,
doing
of
the
course.
same.
Yeah, true. But you know, it's not for me to say. Do you know what I mean? So all I'm saying is I'm just dialed in, man. I'm dialed in. Like, that's what I can say right now.
Do you believe that you are better in all areas than Isaac Chamberlain, or do you respect what he does?
I do believe I'm better in all areas. Have I shown that? No, because I haven't had to. Isaac's been around for a long time. He's had the time to show his game. Do you know what I mean? I'm sure he's going to try do something a bit different on February the 1st because he has to. But, yeah, this is why I'm having these fights. You know, Isaac has the experience. We always talk about experience in boxing, but it costs to get experience. You have to go through pain to get experience. You get a lot to gain those experiences, and they don't leave you. So no one looks at that side of experience. That's how I look at it going into this fight. I'm fresher. I'm ready. I've had the time to mature. I've had the good fights. I made sure I got the same best win that he has, and now it's time to show down.
Do you believe that your win over Lawal was better than his win over Lawal?
Wouldn't say it was better. It was different. It was cleaner, made to look easier, but maybe not better.
Do you agree with that?
That's his opinion, man. That's his opinion, bro.
Okay.
I know everyone in there is shocked right now. I'm not the only one that's shocked. I know.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what chess moves this is.
No, this ain't no chess moves, man.
But that's exactly what someone playing chess would say.
True. True. How come there's no water in my cup?
No, I think they're probably worried about you throwing it over someone. Is that?
Come on, behave, man.
If that is water. Ben, I'll come to you.
Yeah.
There's a danger here that, again, just to hype back to where we were with Adam Azim, Viddal Riley and his dad, I think around the Corliss fight, were very much saying we want to go quick, all gas, no brakes. And I don't think anyone would have blamed you or Team Riley if they did want another 6 to 8 months, more sort of defences in and around that level. To jump up to Isaac Chamberlain's level, it does represent a risk on everybody's part on this side of the table. Do you agree with that?
It's definitely moving quick. I said to Viddal, he wanted the Isaac Chamberlain fight before the Macau Lawal fight. If it was up to him, that's who he'd have fought in March. And that's credit to him, that's credit to his dad, that's credit to what he believes in. Especially coming back from an injury to want to go straight back in. Again, it's hard. You know, there's many professional fighters that have the complete opposite mentality. So to work with someone like this, it's a pleasure. We know his background. We know the following he's got. We know the opportunities that presents. But the fact that Viddal wants to fight the best, the fact that he wants to win the titles, the fact that he wants to go it the hard way, as though he doesn't have anything. He's fighting like he doesn't have 2.5 million followers. He's fighting like he doesn't have that all behind him and going through the traditional route. And so I think he deserves a huge amount of credit. It's a big test. It's a massive test. I've never in all my career seen an Isaac Chamberlain like this. I don't know whether it is a chess move or he's found himself or whatever's going on, but it makes for a really interesting fight. And for Isaac as well, he's always delivered. He's always delivered entertainment. He's always taken any fight. He took Chris Billen-Smith on 6 weeks' notice, and Chris Billen-Smith went on to be world champion, defended it twice, went into unifications. He's a phenomenal fighter when he can get it right. And so he'll be looking at this as his opportunity. After just coming short against Lawrence Okoli, just coming short against Chris Billen-Smith and Jack Messi. So it's a great fight. Two guys that have taken the really toughest test, and I think it can steal the show on February the 1st.
Might I just ask you about that? You know, you've been in this sort of fight before, British Beef, you and Lawrence Okoli, regardless of how the fight played out, the hype around that fight and what you were part of was a whole experience in itself. It not going your way in a beef like that, dislocating a shoulder and having to pop it back in the ring, being cut, tearing a hamstring. I think we've had fractured orbital bone. All of those things, they're things that Viddal hasn't experienced. So my question to you would be, how important is experience at the top level, even if it didn't go your way, experience that Viddal doesn't have?
Yeah, it's so important. You know, you never really know what you're going through until you've gone through it in the ring. So it's very, very important, you know, very important. And obviously that's one thing I have that's over him. And I plan to show that on February the 1st.
Who's there more pressure on, do you think, with everything weighed up? When you take into account his profile as well and where he thinks he can get to?
Yeah, of course. I don't know, mate. Probably me, you know, probably me. And I plan to, you know, really sit with that pressure and make it work for me on February the 1st.
That was going to be my question. How do you deal with that? Is it a case of you just have to embrace that? You know, your back's to the wall now, and that's it's a unique pressure to have.
Yeah, it's a good pressure. It's a good pressure. Pressure makes diamonds, you know. And that's one thing that I'm going to be willing to really embrace on February the 1st.
Is that right? Would you agree with that, Viddal? Pressure is on him. I mean, it's Tottenham versus Brixton as well, or Brixton versus Tottenham, if you want to come from this side of the table. Bragging rights, and you haven't got that experience that he has gone through.
I don't have the experiences he has gone through. That is a fact. But I have a ton of experience that Isaac also doesn't have. And yeah, we know the time I've been boxing, what I achieved as an amateur. You know, it has been overshadowed by having a social media following and doing all of that. But at the end of the day, when it comes down to experience, I have an ample amount. And I'll show that on February the 1st. And hopefully Isaac makes me use a part of my game that the people haven't seen. So you can all see that I'm a complete fighter, or becoming one at least.
I think you've been sick of talking about it in the past. I don't think there's anybody in this room in professional boxing that even talks about it anymore. But to the wider public who we're trying to appeal to with this fight, do you think that this is the fight that can erase any sort of thing that is levelled at you, which is about clout and YouTube and profile? And actually, if you beat Isaac Chamberlain, that finishes that forever? Is it well in the rearview mirror now? Am I talking about something that doesn't exist, or do you think actually you still do need the breakout win?
I don't really have control. I think factually, I already have proven that I'm a real fighter. You know what I mean? You don't co-main event on Sky Sports if you're not. You don't become English champion if you're not. Like I said, every other English champion before me is considered a legitimate fighter, so you can't just single me out as not being one. But this is the most publicized. This is the one that's got the most attention, so it will reach more people, which might make more people think I'm a real fighter, but I don't have control over that.
No, fair enough. I'll finish it here, but I'll give you one last opportunity to address each other. So I'll let you go first. What is your final parting shot and your prediction to Isaac? And you can say it direct to him. You don't need me and Ben for this.
No, Isaac, I respect you as a fighter, but I know it's that time now. It's that time where we're going to fight. I'm going to prove that I'm better. You will challenge me because you are tough, but you're just not better. And I mean, not talking and locking in, it's all great. I'm talking more than him, but I'm not any less locked in than he is. I don't underestimate this man with any inch of my body. And I look forward to having a good scrap. And hopefully after the fight, shake hands and the people got what they wanted to see.
I'll give you the response. What's your final message to Viddal and also your final prediction for the fight?
Yeah, man, it's going to be a great fight. It's going to be a great show. It's going to be good. Just relishing that moment, you know, waiting. I'm visualizing. I'm seeing it. And it's going to be good, man. It's going to be good. It's going to be great.
Yeah,
February the 1st.
Yeah, it is another level. February 1st, OVO Arena, Wembley. Just for the press pack, we're going to break for one-on-ones now, head-to-heads. If everyone stays where they are, everyone can get a shot. We're also going to be available for one-on-ones. And Ben Shalom, just finally, tomorrow, when and where do we need to be for Callum Simpson? Same place where you consume this press conference digitally from 1 o'clock. Simpson, Steed, Woodall and the undercard.
Yeah, tomorrow kicks off a big week. Callum Simpson against Steed Woodall, a huge fight night. Caroline Dubois making her first world title defence as well. Massive show on Sky Sports Boxing on Saturday.
Thank you very much for joining us. We've got a break for these head-to-heads now.
Hi, Ian. Do you want to call you back in about half an hour? Say again, sorry?
I see the mic.
I will be, yeah. I will be, yeah. Lovely. Thanks a lot, Ian. Cheers, appreciate it. Thanks, Ian. Bye-bye.
Well, I've hopped down from the top table to join former Cruiserweight World Champion Johnny Nelson. Johnny, now is Isaac Chamberlain playing a great game and fooling us all, or has he perhaps been a bit humbled and a bit more mature, and maybe the boxing does the talking for him? I don't know.
You know what, I was kind of surprised. I sort of spoke to Isaac before, and the demeanour was exactly the same. So
really? Okay,
yeah,
so it's not a ruse, perhaps?
Not at all. I said, you're all right? Yeah, you're good. How was your Christmas? Not good. His reply was, why? Because I've got to train for this. He has got a serious head on. So that wasn't for the cameras. This was our conversation. And I know Isaac personally. I'm not this young man from being a young man before he turned pro. So what we just saw there was the real deal. I think he understands what's at stake here. He can't afford to lose to Viddal.
So this is it. Viddal Riley, Isaac Chamberlain for the English Cruiserweight title. February 1st, OVO Arena, Wembley. Isaac Chamberlain slightly taller of the two.
Remember, Isaac's got the one thing Viddal hasn't got, and you can't buy, borrow, pretend to have, and that's experience. And that's what he's got to draw on, all the experiences, all the wins and all the losses in his career, all the highs and all the lows, to make sure he brings that A game on this.
You have to respect the confidence and the ambition of Team Riley as well, though. I mentioned it at the top table. His father, Derek, and Viddal, they were very much front foot. Like, straight away, they wanted Isaac Chamberlain. They didn't want to wait around. This is what they're in the game for. You have to respect that. That's a bit of a throwback attitude as well.
If you've got real ambition in this game, you've got to believe in yourself. You've got to believe in every challenge, every opportunity, every option that's out there for you. So what he's doing is what any fighter that believes in himself should do. Take the opportunities at the right time, and time is everything.
It is a real high quality fight, though, isn't it? Like two very pure boxers. We know that Isaac Chamberlain can dog it out in a fight because we've seen him time and time again have to go to the well. There hasn't been anybody good enough to take Viddal Riley there yet. But in terms of quality of fight, this has got all the hallmarks of a real British classic.
Right now you're seeing that guy that's going to take Viddal there, and Viddal's going to have to bring his A game. Viddal's going to have to show something that we haven't seen before, and he said it himself. He'll hopefully, as it brings out the best in me, and he has to be the best thus far for Isaac, because Isaac knows what and Viddal knows what he's got to do.
That's interesting that looking at each other like that the first time, Isaac broke into laughter, but Viddal didn't move.
This is business.
Yeah,
this is business, and there's a lot at stake, and that's it. That's just. Do you
think there's any? I want to say this in a nice way, but if you're Isaac Chamberlain, are you insulted at all that Viddal Riley's calling your name? When I put it into context, Isaac Chamberlain, had he beaten Jack Massey, it could have been
the devil.
It could have come here.
Yeah.
Is he stood in the right place? No.
this.
Do you know what I was going to say there? I wonder if there's any part of you, and I've sort of asked you this already, but was there any offence taken or any insult put to you? Could have been you fighting Jai Pataya, who we've just seen cement his place at #1 in the division. Had you beaten Jack Massey, now you're having to face Viddal Riley for the English Cruiserweight champion. You're one step away from the promised land, and now you're a bit further down the ladder. The fact that he came calling you out, was that insulting to you at all, or is this just the game and the business?
No, it's just the game. You can't let it get to you. You just have to be a professional at all times and just carry on with the job. And I feel like I'm going to show some different things on February the 1st.
I'm going to try and put this in the nicest way possible. We've not really seen this Isaac before. Very mature, very respectful. You love a practical joke more than anyone I know. It genuinely, over the last 5 or 6 years, the pillow at ringside, the toothbrush, the Sislak egg, for goodness sake. You've always got something planned. So to not do that today, I'm just intrigued. Is this one great ruse? Are you playing us all here, or is this the new Isaac Chamberlain? 30 isn't old, mate. You're saying I'm mature now. I'm old in the...
We're about to see.
He's given us as little as possible, but as I said, I think one thing I asked you was, how was your Christmas? Horrible. And I remember having to train over Christmas. I remember all the sacrifices you got to give over that period of time when you want to be with family and friends. So if you're willing to do that,
in Zion as well, it's not the easiest time to not enjoy festivities.
If you're willing to make such commitment, you understand, I can't play with this because now it's a family at stake. So he's thinking, I've got to get my head on. Would I be right in saying that?
Yeah, 100%. I have to focus. I have to be dialed in, and I have to put all my focus into this training for the fight. And that's what I've been doing, and it's going to be great. It's going to be great. I can feel it. I'm visualizing the victory all the time. I'm visualizing me winning the belts and everything, So I don't know. I didn't announce that it's going to be 12 rounds for IBF International.
I'll try and get it to Ben Shalom to confirm that. Can I put one thing to you that Viddal said in the back room when we did his interview for the Fight Night show? He said that Isaac talks loudly when he knows he can win a fight. The fact that he's not talking now shows to me that he doesn't believe in his heart that he can win the fight. What's your response to that?
My response to that is, why are you so worried about what I'm doing? What's all that about? Maybe so, but maybe not, So we're about to see.
Listen, the other maybe is this. You can look at these things and think to yourself, well, if there's a sense of hesitation, if there's a sense of doubt, it brings the best out in a fighter. Now, we know this young man here, he loves to have a dogfight. So now if he is thinking, you know what, this guy's dangerous, that will bring the best out of you because it's fight or flight. Instinctively, you're going to give it your best. And that's where I think at this stage, you'll get both fighters giving it their best. He needs to. Viddal needs to, because there's so much at stake for the careers, the crossroads of their careers.
Do you believe that he can do what you have done, which is go to the well, go to some pretty dark places in a fight? Do you believe that he has that in him?
We're about to find out. I'm gonna test that soul a little bit, and see how deep the rabbit hole goes, because I'm willing to go there.
You did kind of question that.
That's what I'm after.
You did kind of question that. I think it was in his last fight of the fight before. Question his heart, question his soul, question, how much you really wanted it. What did you see? What was it that made you?
Obviously, when he fought Lawal, I think Lawal damaged his rib in the first, and obviously he went on his back and won that way. But he did what he had to do, survived and picked him off, and got the victory. But
what did it tell you about that?
It told me
about his hunger when it gets tough.
When it gets tough, I remember I started hearing his dad shout, "Be brave," in the corner, and I was kind of like, "What does that show? What is that? What's that telling? That's a telling sign for your dad that a lot, that you have that relationship with, telling you to be brave." So is it a thing of the past where you haven't been able to be brave in the past? Is it? I don't know. All of these things, it's all speculation, but I like to look at these things as well, and. We're going to test all of that on February the 1st.
Okay. You're free to go now. Thank you very much for joining us. We're going to swap you out for Viddal Riley, I hope. Here
one in, one out.
Viddal Riley. Didn't give you much, did he? If it's any consolation, he didn't give us much either when he came and just joined us there. Are you surprised that we haven't heard more from Isaac?
Not after yesterday. After the energy yesterday, I expected more of the same today. But it doesn't matter. It's just more. It doesn't matter to me. I'm still going to win. Do you know what I mean? I'm still going to prove that I'm the better fighter. But I mean, for the people and the promo that's created and what everyone anticipated it to be, from that side of things, I'm sorry, people.
No, I have a degree of suspicion, that's all, because I'm a sceptic, that he's playing a game with you and there's still something up his sleeve, but maybe I'm making too much of it. Can we go back to the reason why you want this fight? I think Johnny and I have already spoken about, he probably thought that he was one fight away from Opataya, so to fight you for the English title, to him, is it humbling to a degree, you would think? Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, this fight after Isaac losing to Massey, this was not a fight that I had to have. I wanted to fight Isaac because he was the level up. when I originally asked for him is because I wanted to be British champion, Commonwealth champion, not to defend the English title. But that's just how it's happened. And the reason why it still made sense was because the public have really gravitated towards us and gravitated towards, you know, the content that we have.
We make great dance partners.
Yeah,
that's the truth.
And it will be a good fight as well. It's going to be a very good fight. Whether sorry, John.
So professionally, you guys, it's competition. On a personal level, are you cool? Are you friends? Yeah, well,
we both
do you
respect
have a
each other.
relationship?
No, we don't have a relationship, but it's definitely respect. It's both. We know of each other for a long time, and we never had an issue. So it's always that competitive nature that makes us go back and forth, or previously did.
And is it the challenge of the unknown? Because obviously at this point, a lost 20 fighter could make one fighter think, you know what, this is the direction I'm going. Is it the challenge of the unknown? Because you're speaking supremely confident in regards to this, saying, I want this, I want the challenge. You've not seen the best in me. I hope he brings the best out in me.
Yeah, no, I'm here for challenges. I'm here to level up and progress. And I feel like there is an old gen of cruiserweights. There's a current gen of cruiserweights. There's a future gen. You know what I mean? And I feel like I'm the current. And we're standing here nearly 7 years to the day when he fought Lawrence Okoli and was doing that back and forth. If that doesn't tell you that the torch is passing and the conveyor belt is moving, nothing else will. And I just feel like it's time. It's my time, not his.
It's interesting though, because you mentioned that he has got that one thing which is key, which is experience. You know, that Lawrence Okoli fight, the pressure that was on him, okay, he didn't come through it on the night, but then I mentioned all the other things that he has come through. You haven't had to do that because you haven't faced anyone that's good enough to bring it out of you yet. Does he represent that in your mind, or not? Do you actually see this as a straightforward fight for you?
We'll find out. I'm pretty sure people predicted me and Mikel would have more of a scrap and that he could drag me into a firefight based on his power, based on those things, but it wasn't that. And if it becomes a dogfight, because he's a dogfighter, so if it becomes a dogfight, that means that it's working to supposedly in his favour.
Is a stoppage possible?
I think so. I think a stoppage is possible. With a fighter that you can hit and a fighter that gets hit frequently, you can stop him.
Boxing so much, Johnny will know this better than anybody, is about timing. I don't want to make it sort of too poetic, but he has had a great time and he's given us some great nights. Do you believe, would you be confident enough to say this, that it is the end of his time now at that level and it is your time now?
100%. This fight, again, similar to the Lawal fight, is about the gen that didn't go on to do what Billam has done, hasn't gone on to do what Okoli has done. Whoever's still active whilst I'm coming through, I have to take you down. And this is just the second chapter of that.
And are you good enough to do what Okoli did? And are you good enough to do what Crispin Smith did and go 100%. On and win world titles?
I believe so. I'm not focused on that right now. Like I said, I really do focus on Isaac. I understand the level of fighter he is, what he's achieved. You don't achieve these things if you don't have something about you. So as much as I can say it's time for him to go, he needs and deserves the respect which is put into the preparation and the training to give it my all. But my all is way too much for him.
Okay, very well said. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to sub you out to keep it football terms and bring in Adam Azim. Thank you very much, Viddal. Can I quickly ask you why Adam joins us? Have you seen the Opataya knockout from this morning?
I saw it. I was watching it.
Talking about cruiserweights, from one great group of cruiserweights to someone that's been there, seen it, done it. Joe Opataya, has he cemented his place as the #1 cruiserweight? Unbelievable. If you haven't seen it, get online. It is a pretty explosive, disgusting knockout of David Nyika, who seems to be okay, by the way.
Convincing, clinical, accurate. You're just looking, thinking. No, I was kind of questioning how good he actually was a couple of fights ago when he boxed.
Massey, before Massey.
Massey, before Massey, yeah. And I thought, what's he like? Because he lost his shape towards the back end of the fight.
It was the second Breedis fight.
I get Breedis. And he lost his shape towards the back end of the fight. Is this good as kid? Is he as good as what I thought he was? But then slowly but surely, once he's got each fight gives you confidence, gives you maturity, and the way he clinically was accurate, he was on point, he was hungry. I thought this kid now is showing I'm the best cruiser out there, and I'll test every single one of you that go in there. I like what I see about him. I think the kid's like grown fight by fight, learned on the job as a champion as well, and he fights like a hungry champion. And a champion that's like that is a dangerous champion.
He is very dangerous, and that's quite a nice link, because surely one of the most dangerous punchers around at the moment, Adam Azim, dynamite in those fists against O'Hara Davies. You think he can deliver something similar against Sergey Lipinets, who represents quite a formidable step up on paper? Yeah. I know O'Hara been in and around world level, but this, surely, a guy who's been there, seen it, done it in Lipinets.
First of all, Happy New Year's to you guys.
Happy New Year to you as well.
Johnny looking handsome always. Andy looking a bit rough.
Come on, mate.
I'm
Why are you doing me dirty like that?
I'm joking.
Why are you doing me
Nah,
dirty
looking
like
smart,
that?
looking
I thought
smart.
we were okay.
Yeah. Do you know what? He's a good opponent. Like he's had the experience over, obviously, Jerome Boots, NS, Mikey Garcia, Lamont Peterson, but I know that I've got my own experience in either ways. Like, I've been watching other fighters, like Usyk, Gervonta Davis. I look up to a lot of fighters, even Johnny back in the, obviously he's a legend back in the day. So I've got my own experience. He may have like the experience over me in the ring, but I've got my own experience in a different way.
How good do you think? Not how good, but what do you take away from the Robbie Davies Jr. performance? Because that surely is a benchmark. You've done hundreds of rounds with Robbie. You know Robbie inside out. Okay, he wasn't with the gym at the time, but the fact that Robbie Davies went over there and had one of the fights of the year, unbelievable. Shout out to Robbie Davies. That is a pretty good gauge for you, surely, of where Lipinets is at and where you might be.
Robbie Davies Jr. Look, he's a great fighter. Me and him were very good friends. When I looked at that fight, don't forget how many times did Robbie hurt Sergey Lipinets?
Yes.
How many times did he had him gone? Obviously, Robbie's getting to that age as well. Like, obviously, he's still got it. He's still got the experience and everything. But when he did fight him, like Sergey did struggle with Robbie as well. And I thought Robbie boxed really, really well. Like, he got up, fought again, buzzed him, got dropped, but still hurt him. And there's a thing that obviously Sergey's coming to show. Like, if he's got the experience, if he comes in the ring, like, he can show me what experience he's got, because I know that I will beat him.
Yeah, is there a lesson there, though, that Robbie had a chance and he didn't put him away?
Yeah.
So you're a good finisher, very good finisher. If you sniff a chance, is it lesson learned? You have to put him away. If you give him a chance in the fight, he can come back and he can do what he did.
Look, every fighter's like that. Like O'Hara Davis, like, I dropped him, but he still come back. A few rounds. It took me a few rounds to obviously take him out of there. But with Sergey, it's the same thing. If I drop him or hurt him, I'm going to be very patient, because I'm not looking for just to get him out. I'm looking to dissect him, take him out in style, and if he's going to be very aggressive, that's the wrong move for him, because it's easier for me to knock him out.
What if I ask you, what was the most impressive facet of his win over O'Hara Davies? Everybody knows how slick you can be. Everybody knows how much, if someone's in front of you, you can put them away. Yep. But the fact that he chose to stand with O'Hara Davies in the pocket, it was something that we haven't seen you do before. What was the most impressive thing from that win for you that Adam did on the night?
His patience and calm. His patience and calm was everything, because fighters that aren't experienced, when the pressure's on or where they think they've got a chance, they've got an opportunity to close somebody out, that's when they kind of smother their work. That's when they kind of lose opportunities that were there. With O'Hara, he stayed patient, he stayed calm. And I knew that was a problem initially, where sometimes you'd rush your work and your cornerman said, look, I've got to calm you down a little bit now. And how he talks out the fight as well as how he performs in the fight, it shows the maturity of a fighter that's got his feet firm on the ground. The team's
that
still the same.
Maturity.
Oh God, massively. But you've got to look at the people around the fighters as well. His father plays a massive part in it. I think family is so important, because that's your stability. So when you've got that stability, you can go out and have fun. You can go out and do everything you want to do. There's no pressure anywhere else. All he thinks, eats, sleeps, dreams, is fighting. So to be at this stage, a young man, to just want to fight, it's a great place to be, because what happens is when you become a champion, they want you to turn up to the opening of a crisp packet, and all of a sudden you're enjoying being a champion. Yeah. He just wants to fight.
Well, I've seen those pictures of you at Smashburger in Slough. I mean, you cannot move outside Smashburger when they know you're there. You're out running on Christmas Day as well. I mean, it's part of that time. You've got brothers and sisters, young brothers and sisters, and it is still that time of year, that a lot of people want to rest. You're out on Christmas Day doing the hills.
That's the utter dedication I have in my life. 18 years of hard work I've been doing since the age of 4, and everyone else is partying, nightclubs, going out. I'm just there watching boxing, studying boxing, going for a jog. You know, it's just mentally, it's always in my head. Like, if I don't do anything at home, I've got to do something, right?
Understanding is fighters' dream to be a British champion, European champion, maybe Commonwealth, even world champion. The problem isn't, it's not they think that's the hardest thing. It isn't. The hardest thing is staying there. So that same hunger that's here needs to be there when you become that champion. To still have that same commitment, that vision, that doing your homework. And the way he is, I actually don't see that leaving him at the moment because he's learning on the job. It's just a nice thing to see, which isn't seen very often with a lot of fighters.
Yeah, I agree. Great to have you with us. All the best for the rest of your training camp, February 1st. Sergey Lipinets, Adam, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Nice one.
Thank you.
Okay, let's see if we can make it a hat-trick of fighters stepping in and insulting me. Here comes Ben Shalom.
I don't think that he's...
Ben, great to see you. We're live on the Sky Sports stream.
Yes.
Happy New Year to you. Did you have a good festive break?
I did. I had a relaxed festive break back in Manchester. I hadn't been back in a while, so it was good to be back.
Lovely stuff. We like this fight. I mean, can we start with the cruiserweights?
Yeah.
I tried.
I know.
I did try.
I don't know what's wrong.
No, I wasn't.
You know,
I think he's double bluffing me. That's what I think. I still can't get out of my head. I've done enough with Isaac that I don't believe it, but maybe I have to. Maybe this is the new, mature Isaac Chamberlain.
You know when someone goes on one of these retreats and they've like experimented with like mushrooms
they're all
and
zen,
all sorts.
Zenned out.
Yeah, and they come back and they're a completely different person. That's what it feels like with Isaac. I've had it happen to a friend, so I'm just...
Too much information, man.
No, but all it is I've known Isaac for so long now, and every time he's hyped up and he's energetic and he can't wait to get out there, and he loves the camera almost more than he loves being in the ring at times, and it's been a joy to promote him because every time he gets in there, and maybe he sat down with Mick and spoke with his... I don't know if we could say his new trainer, and they've just said...
We haven't said it yet.
Okay. And they've sat down and they've said, look, I think we really need to take this one seriously because this is a career-defining, on-the-line type of fight.
Maybe like let the fighting do the talking kind of thing. I mean, he played the role against Massey, and it couldn't have been easy to see him win and go on and fight up time. Maybe he was humbled a little bit. I'm not so sure though. Like, that's easy to say that. I don't know.
He probably has spent the summer kicking himself, seeing Jack Massey go and fight for life-changing money against Jai Opetaia for a world title, thinking that could have been me. And probably looking at what happened in that camp and where his mental state was at, and maybe did he drop off a couple of percent.
What was he like with you backstage before we came on here?
Just
the same as he was on stage?
Yeah, no, subdued. But listen, I really like him. He's such a good guy. But it's just there's something different, and I actually think if I'm Viddal, I am thinking, you know what, he's really up for it. I am actually, if I on the Viddal's team, I'm thinking Isaac's really coming. He's a wounded animal. He's really hurt.
And are you happy to make the match? And I mean that from like I sort of set it up there, and I mean it again like. Viddal Riley's still developing. What is he, 27 years old, and he's got 12 wins, and he's in the English title mix at the moment. He probably didn't need to, jump straight to Isaac. But are you happy to make it? Because they're very ambitious, and they're all gas, no brakes at the moment. They want to go quick. Are you happy to match that?
He pushed me into trying to make that fight before the Mikel Lawal fight, and I managed to say, no, hold on. Did the Mikel Lawal fight, he was levels above. Then he wanted to go straight back into it after his injury, and I said, at least have a fight part of your camp, get used to it. So I managed to get a few things in, but they're 100 miles an hour. They really wanted this fight. I remember after he fought, was it in York Hall the year before he came out straight away? I want to fight Isaac Chamberlain.
Flawless. I think
after
he came out and he said, I wanted it around that sort of fight. Mate, I'm just intrigued from the promotional point of view. You don't necessarily have to rush him, but at the same time, business is business. It's quite a godsend that you've got someone that wants to go quick.
It is, but he's a big star, massive star potential. I mean, you never get fighters that can come after 10 fights and have this level of profile and this level of what they bring to the table. The fact that he wants to jump in the deep end is really unusual. I mean, we work with so many fighters, and when they don't have to, they'll take the steps and they'll take the levels. He wants to prove himself. He's had a fantastic amateur record. He was considered the best cruiserweight in the country by all his peers for a long time growing up, coming as a teenager, and he wants to get back to that.
Any other news before we let you go? Ben Eubank, a lot of noise. Do we even want to add to it? Have you got anything you want to say?
I think...
Obviously, Ben Whittaker, there's noise.
Yeah,
Fraser Clark looks like he's back punishing the treadmill in Loughborough.
Yeah. Eubank Ben is close now. I think we'll have some good news. It's been difficult. It's just painful at times. Just the ego's out of control. It's frustrating.
Just to be clear, not talking about me and Johnny.
No, I'm not talking about you two. But it's painful because I always look. I've not been in the game as long as Frank Warren or Eddie or whatever, but when I did Amir Khan, Kell Brook, I could never understand it. I was like, you two, you've only got one fight left. You two have to get in the ring, and you're going to make absolute millions. And it was so hard. The families wouldn't talk, and I sort of understood it because of the history. This one I thought would be really easy, really easy, because it makes a lot of sense. But it's been painful, and it's just I'll be glad to see the back of it, and I'm hoping we'll see the back of it this week, and everything can move forward.
What about Ben Whittaker?
Ben Whittaker back in April. I saw some comments. We actually were asked for an offer initially by the manager. We made an offer. We were told it wasn't high enough. We were asked for a number. We've offered that number. Ben's going to be back in April.
How
it's up to them.
You got a lot of backlash from his last performance.
It's crazy because I didn't think there could be more noise surrounding Ben Whittaker last year, and it's gone to another level after what happened. So it is a lot of pressure. It is a lot of heat. I think what's good is I'm seeing someone that's really hungry. Really hungry, really humbled and ready to go, and it's going to either make or break him. I think it's going to make him. I think we're going to see something special this year, and he'll be back in April, hopefully in the rematch that everyone wants to see.
Okay, that's interesting. But finally, and Fraser around that time
Fraser
as well?
Back in April as well.
Injury permitting. I mean, he's back training, so...
Back in April. We think we've got his opponent sorted. It's an interesting one. But he's back, and I can't believe we're even talking about Fraser Clark being in April.
No, I agree. I think you and I, on the night, both sort of reacted the same sort of way.
Yeah.
Johnny's probably been there and seen it, and was... But, you know, it is great to see him back so quickly as well.
Yeah, credit to him. Back in the gym this month and raring to go, and
you're cooking
and
now.
Here we go.
This is it. Well, so we'll see you in Sheffield tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah,
Cheers.
Look forward to it. Thank you very much for joining us today. Despite all that other talk, we were focusing on February 1st, Oval Arena, Wembley, Adam Azim, and of course that cruiserweight title fight between Isaac Chamberlain and Viddal Riley. We look forward to you joining us then, and plenty more action coming up live on Sky Sports.